have you bought the classifieds? Aircraft section. Oh, situation vacant. Panel beaters. Only experienced men need apply. Guaranteed rate. Morden Road, Merton. Wow, which is where that wheeling machine was made. That's so cool. 18th of May, 1937. What other jobs have they got going? Butcher. Cabinet maker. Oh, they need a few cabinet makers. All these different companies. But Ranalah have got an advert in there. That's amazing. Oh, another one. Sheet metal worker. Sheet metal worker, panel beater, craftsman. Wow, that is so cool. It's obviously a big company. Charged at Wimbledon yesterday with stealing scrap aluminium. Belonged to his employees, Ranalah Limited. No, one of the people that work there. Some fellows about the place told him he could take it. He was remanded on bail for a week. Wow. South Western Police Court on Wednesday last week, Ranalah Limited was summoned for recklessly making a statement which was false in 4 returns for the purpose of obtaining rationed foods for the canteen. Oh, 2 packets of tea, half pack of butter and some sugar to Doris Emma. She was summoned for obtaining the food without surrendering coupons. Doris, come on. 10 years prior, and they were advertising for like 8 jobs, and it's a massive big company. And then now, during the war, or the end of the war, there's people going to court for stealing half a pack of butter. Amazing. Oh, look, the yacht yard. We need to go here. I've been to the Ranalah Industrial Estate near Brighton. Been to the old Brighton Sheet Metal Works. That's no longer. None of those places are no longer there. Well, they're there, but they're not Ranalah related anymore. But this dockyard, it's in Isle of Wight, isn't it? Wootton Creek, Isle of Wight. Anyone lives on the Isle of Wight? Is any of this still there? Anything? Let us know. I love the little flag. Look at the little R. Oh, another one. Ranalah, builders of fine boats. Only a Ranalah owner knows such unalloyed joy. Maybe we should use that for the wheeling machines. I'm always a sucker for any Ranalah archive. Welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for joining us. We're back in the workshop and I'm pleased to say not working on the spanner. But we've got a special guest coming down to help me paint this year's Ranalah that we're taking to Goodwood Revival. I'm sort of heading an area at Goodwood Revival called the Revive and Thrive Workshop. We've got all different crafts coming down, demonstrating, having a go. You can come down and have a go yourself, just experience all of these different crafts, including Signwriting, which is what's going to happen to this. This yellow, believe it or not, is just the base coat. It's going to get a lot more creative than this. The Signwriting, pinstriping, lining, coach painting is his world. So he's going to be the perfect guy to help us with painting this. I can't wait. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to have a plan. I certainly don't have a plan, but I'm trying to make one. The theme I'm going for is circus, which that bright bold yellow is a brilliant base for. I quite like stripes, like the big top, but again, trying to do straight line stripes on that shape, tricky. I quite like the idea of a harlequin. From painting these last year with Lucia, I've learned that they are very tricky shapes. There's not a flat surface really on them, it's all curves and inwards. So imagine trying to do a harlequin diamond pattern on something that's 3-dimensional and really undulating in and out and around and in a curved shape as well. I'm not sure that's even going to be possible, I don't know. That might be quite nice. Come on in.
Look at these.
Yes.
Fabulous.
There's a few of these around.
Aha, and there she is.
This is the one we're on today.
Nice yellow. How many coats does it have?
A base coat and then 3 top coats.
It's
Yellow is, yeah. When you said paint it yellow, I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, sorry.
Is it the worst colour?
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? I love it.
Joby Carter is a hugely talented signwriter and fairground artist. Carter's Steam Fair was the largest travelling vintage fun fair in the world. The fair all started with his parents, and now Joby is the custodian for all of the amazing rides and the history that goes with all of that. Joby has literally been surrounded by these fairground rides and amazing attractions his whole life. So who better to invite over to the workshop and help me paint this year's Ranalah?
What do we think of this then?
So, circus themed is all I've got as a word.
And do you want to signwrite the word circus on it, or do you want to signwrite Goodwood on it? This is the thing that worries me, is this dish. Obviously, we can't really paint over that.
That's probably going to end up gold.
Okay.
Like colour, like, you know, sort of raised lettering. I'll just colour that.
Gilded?
In gold. Yeah, I'll gild it. Yeah.
You know I don't do
I
gold
haven't got any
paint.
gold paint. It's okay. Yeah.
So you've painted them before, haven't you?
Last year, yes. Last year we took actually 6 of them down there, and we painted. We had one from each era. The 40s was small, delicate floral. 50s was hot rods, turquoise and pink with big scallops up it. 60s then was like a kind of formica pattern, and then the Spitfire one. And they were so difficult to paint.
Right, let me see. You could do Goodwood vertically. I don't do much vertically. Not much obviously do that.
Yeah.
Goodwood.
Or basically the area where this is going at Goodwood is the Revive and Thrive area, which is where all the craft, like the workshop area, where all the stuff's happening. Yeah, that's what it was last year, Revive and Thrive. It absolutely could say Revive and Thrive.
Start them there, Revive.
And then Thrive here or something.
Or an excuse for ampersand and Thrive.
It's got to be that, yeah, not an and. That's the rules.
The rules,
The rules from Goodwood. It's, yeah, they didn't like, I did it with an and first of all, and then it's got to be an ampersand.
Well, I love an ampersand.
Yeah.
We could do the end of this orange. It'd be a bit of sport on 4 sides. Orange into yellow.
I'll blend the whole thing.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, if I was doing that, I would reach straight for my spray gun, which I know is...
No, that's no fun.
Yeah. Blend it out like that, but yeah. That's where, when it was the RAF wheel, I had the roundel there.
That could work though, couldn't it? Just Harlequins in there. We don't have to fill all of it.
This is what I sort of scribbled that down. I was like, actually, maybe just on the flat surface. Heritage Skills Academy are bringing down some of their trainees that are going to be using it. So it's built as it will be a working machine. There's going to be a cradle here and a top wheel, which we should also maybe paint, whatever colour we end up with. Quite often they get pushed against the wall, but yes, maybe inside, but better text would be better inside.
Right, so what about then? Revive and Thrive.
Yeah, start up here somewhere, or wherever. Revive the full width and Thrive.
But then potentially pick these out in orange as well.
Line them, or fill them in.
Yeah, or fill that in going over like that. You maybe lay the Harlequins in. And then we decide how far they go, because that's the other thing. Potentially you could have them coming around the side and stopping there.
They'll just end up in stripes here. They'll just end up being like, well, unless they get smaller.
If you mark out in halfway in the
keep them vertical.
Flat, keep them vertical, and also marking a centre line.
Yeah.
And then proportionately, if they get smaller by say an inch each time, that should.
By the time they end up, it would just be diamond.
Do you want me to lay that? But I don't think put it there. I think stop there.
I was thinking green, but maybe pink.
I think blue. I'd say alternate blue and
Which
red.
kind of blue?
Wild.
Like a baby blue.
Yeah, possibly. Or French blue would be punchy.
Oh, I think I've got French blue.
And then potentially you could line around that. Could put a scroll like this up.
That'd be nice.
And that in there.
You just want another scroll up there, swirling off that way and swirling off that way. But then you're marking up both things because I can't draw scrolls like you can.
No, go for the Harlequin. Then we can both sort of attack it at once.
Not pages reading your mind. It takes 2 to tango, but I'm dancing on my own. Well, this loneliness, I was being alone.
It's very important to mark out. It is the most important part of signwriting, really. But I am marking out very loosely this kind of style that I'm doing. I call it curve side, and you kind of let the brush do the work. So it's not a perfect drawing, it's just marking it out and go. Obviously this is a very rough cast thing, so that makes it a little bit of sport going over it. Normally I've got a perfect, and I'm not complaining, but you know, it's lovely, it's as it should be. But normally what we paint is perfectly smooth surfaces that we've coach painted to get that effect. There you go, Dom. Got your present. Look at that.
Oh, I love it.
Cups.
Oh my god.
Available from our website.
Very good. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
We can use them now. Ideal.
Yeah, oh, that's perfect. Revival is full of amazing stuff, cars, racing. There's all that stuff's going on. But this is like a little escape from all of that, where you can just come and have a breather, have a little bit of peace and quiet, sit and watch craftspeople working away, doing their thing. Inspiring, I think, is kind of a key word for me.
Before printing and vinyl, people had to learn to signwrite.
The whole world.
And that's not easy, and that's always a shock in my courses when people come on and they're like, this is hard. Well, yeah.
Yeah. People have trained, like yourself, have trained for years to do this.
It takes years to get really good. They say to me in master editing, you should do 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
And it takes a time, and you appreciate that. If you ever try tinkering on a piano, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And then when you hear someone who can really do it, they didn't do that overnight.
Yeah.
That took time.
Pale blue.
Yeah, that can work. Repair shop teal, what was that made up for?
A Hoover, vacuum cleaner. Literally, it was like we couldn't match it. We couldn't get it anywhere, so I matched it by eye with various paints, got enough to paint a little sample, sent it to them. They sent it off to their lab and matched it and sent it back.
You don't want to be getting paint around the lip of your tin, because in the end your lid won't fit, and then you'll get air in the paint and that causes it to skin. I've just told Dom off about shaking paint tins, because if you've got paint and there is a slight skin and you shake it, the skin goes in. If you've got skin on a paint, you carefully cut it, flip it back, and then just use the side you need. And when you're done, you put the skin back over, because it works like an internal lid. I'm already regretting my idea of putting lettering that way. It's not going to fall
Oh,
out,
it's
is it?
gone sideways.
Yeah,
You've not
that's what I
gone
was
down.
thinking. Yeah, no.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like that.
Well, the problem is you've got with that is like, well, the eyes.
Oh, it
and
would
suddenly
look
it's
really
pulling
odd.
it all in, and it's quite hard to space. I can do it, but it's quite hard to space vertically, because you think, okay, just put an inch gap between them.
And I don't think it looks as visually pleasing.
harder to read.
Harder to read.
It is.
Yeah.
And those plans you're making will hold no shine. I don't care what you're taking, I've already got what's mine. And those plans you're making will hold no shine. I don't care what you're taking, I've already got what's mine.
God, this is really funny doing it sideways. I've never done this before.
You must have had to do it sideways. On any of the vehicles, rides, nothing sideways.
No.
Runs up something. No.
No, I mean I've done, but not painted sideways.
Painted sideways.
I've done vertical lettering. I've done the token booth vertical.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I know what you mean. But but they're
This is just a bit unusual. I like a challenge. It's needless to say, we're not using tape.
No, I've left the masking tape in the van. I didn't get that out again. And it never actually works because you end up with... Have you ever tried it?
I tried it once in a course because someone kept going on about it, and I proved why it was a rubbish
But
idea.
you just get like a load of build up at the bottom and then it kind of bulges. It
You can
doesn't...
always tell when there's tape, and the whole point is it takes longer to put the bloody tape on.
tape on,
But
yeah.
people get obsessed by needing it, and you don't. And it's nice. Most people who've done my course that will buy into that. Yeah, I get that. I don't need that. The first thing I painted with Signwriting paint was actually my name on a bit of manky old board, and I've still got it in my workshop. I kind of pestered my dad until he gave me something to paint. And it's rubbish, but it's, I know that typical thing of wanting to do something really fancy, you know. But I put it on the wall to show people, look, you've got to start somewhere.
So was your dad a signwriter?
No, he wasn't. He was an artist. He went to the Slade School of Art, and he was kind of the director of art on the fair, but he had the good sense to bring in signwriters to do it. And my mum was a scenic artist, so she did all the lovely, you know, boats, planes, cars, animals, you know, kings and monarchs, and yeah. So we're very different. I probably paint kind of similar to my dad and my mum. I can't do what my mum does. A mum,
That's a whole nother world.
if
scenic painting.
ever mum's had to do signwriting or lining, she hates it. So we always worked well together, and still do stuff together, where she does the amazing sync work and I do the You know, you can see it as sort of straight-laced signwriting. Obviously, there is an artistic flair to it. So it's a great outlet as an artistic person.
Joby, last time I was at your yard, you were gearing up for an auction, selling off some bits. How did it all go?
Yeah, well, I think you came at, was it Christmas? And we were just having an open day and selling bits and bobs.
Selling signs and
bits.
bits.
And then more recently, we did an actual auction which we organised, and it was a bit of a prelude to the fact we're going to be selling the rest of the equipment. We've been trying to sell the fair as a whole. We were in a lot of talks for months with the National Trust, and nothing came of it, and various other museums and people.
What a shame.
The core fair, we're going to be selling it off individually, but you have to realise, if you can't give someone 100%, which I couldn't after the pandemic, because I'd realised I could do other things, then change it. And people were shocked, but I wasn't going to go and do it forever. I gave it 100% on my life, and then
the time you did it,
stop at the top, leave them wanting more.
Leave on high.
And now it's time for someone new to come into it with that energy.
Yeah. Well, I've got to the curve and got nervous. I don't know if that's what you were expecting.
You decided not to do that line straight, and that's got a dip in it. What's happened here?
That's whilst you were talking to me.
Oh, right, my fault. I like the idea of going around the corner, because I want you to paint that, not me.
But do you want to go around, or are they staying? I don't know how they're going to stay straight.
No, they go around with it.
Oh, they go round.
So try a couple. Because you obviously tick these, maybe even, I don't know, because otherwise what we're going to put in there.
Well, yeah, exactly. Oh, look at that. Looks great.
Is this how it's supposed to be? This can't be true. Just getting by is getting to me. Is it getting to you? I don't see you throughout my day, but I dream of you at night. Wish I was home when I work away.
Whoa, that's orange. All right, Joby has come up with this idea of a blend, orange to yellow, from the side where the wheels and all the action's happening back down. So I'm raiding shelves, looking for as many different oranges I've got to see if any of them are going to work.
Easy, just so you know. One day we'll get it together. No doubt. But till then, watch the money roll in. Watch it roll out.
So, notice with this is all I've done is marked out the lines. I haven't measured any of the width, and of course with this you because there's tapering, they're getting smaller. So we're not robots. It's done by hand, and there's a lot done by eye and the feel of it. Now, when I teach the courses, I actually teach people to scale up. So I want them to have the ability to draw perfect letters, but I want them to aim to get to the point where you can paint like this and let the brush do the work. It's not easy. It takes a long time, but because I never use shortcuts in the sense of working out on a computer, I've just marked that out. I have the ability to, if I don't teach people and people go, well, I can do this, I'll work out on a computer and paint it, you're missing the point.
Yeah.
You're missing the point.
I would still be upstairs trying to work this out on the computer, coming down, measuring that, drawing lines, trying to work it out, trying to skew the lettering to make it the right size. I'd still be then printing it out, trying to pounce it on there.
And I've done it.
And you've literally painted it.
In how long?
Yeah.
I'm such an awkward fit, so it's having that ability to fit things in shapes, and that's what I'm so passionate about, trying to teach people the hard way. Do you not take your dippers off? Do you just?
They don't come off.
But how do you pour out paint and not white spirit?
I don't.
Just
Yeah, I know. It's Well, I don't.
Sloppy. Sloppy, that's what it is. So it's very important when you're blending that you finish off with the darker colour blending into the lighter colour. When I'm finishing off, I'm just lightly feathering into the paint colour above. So we're yellow, orange into yellow, and I'm just feathering it up rather than pulling the brush down and seeing the end of the brush. You want one colour to lead into the other. Let's try that. Oh yeah, that's going to work.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's subtle.
But yeah, just sort of that element of fire, isn't it? Do you want to have a go?
Can I?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go on.
So what I want you to do is start about there, and don't be shy if you go further on these.
Yeah, not
Okay,
over the
just
writing.
go all the way round, about that much, about 6 inches, all the way round. And I mean, we could stagger it. So this blend is like up there, so this bit ends up orange. Now you want to apply it. You want just one brush full.
So I'm yellow to here.
Yeah.
Ish, yeah.
You want just dip it in like half an inch, right? That's fine. And now concentrate on basically that area there. Paint that, and you can work it across initially. Yeah, that's it like that. Right, now feather that way. That's lovely. Right, now do the same thing all the way around, and then when you've gone around like that, then we'll go again with this bit here, so that the entire end
Is orange.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah. And then just feather that down. It won't matter if it goes a bit too far because you've gone down a bit further with
I
that.
quite like it being. Yeah, I don't mind it going further because I say down here it's quite nice to. Oh yeah, okay. It's nearly yellow up there, so I like it being darker in there though. It's like a full shadow, isn't it?
Yeah. And you're a bit dark here and you are there, so I think I'd add a little bit more there and feather that in there. Because of course, as you're painting into yellow, you're changing the brush colour.
So it's getting paler and paler.
It's getting paler and
as I'm
paler.
picking up the yellow.
Seem like crazy, just so you know. One day we'll get it together, no doubt. But till then, watch the money roll in and watch it go out.
Any of these are around 90 degrees. Does that make sense?
Okay, so
The
none
point
of-
that
they
comes
don't go
in,
into
they're
each
not
other.
because it looks like barbed wire.
Like one cuts in and gets
Yeah,
sharp.
you don't want sharp ones. You want it soft
Right.
and flowing.
Okay, I'm with you.
But it's it feels old, doesn't it? It's
Brilliant.
in front. We've got diamonds up there, and
You still think diamonds?
yeah,
Still, yeah.
yeah. It's the implication that it's 3D. It's like what I call the block, but this is a stepped away block.
Sitting watching you paint is
Yeah.
it's kind of mesmerising.
Well, so you get in the courses, you get people. I thought, do you need anything? I just want to watch.
Just want to watch. Yeah. You must get used to people watching you.
Oh yeah, totally.
You don't. Yeah.
I've just had a woman come all the way from Australia just to do the course.
Really.
Yep.
For all different purposes as well, I suppose. So like some of them trying to make a business out of it. Some of them.
Yeah, but I'd say more and more they'd rather pay to do a course and learn a craft or learn about a craft than they would buy some frivolous that they're going to throw away.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of that.
10 years I came down to see you. 2014.
Was it?
Yeah. and I still remember it. But then I think when you come down to your course, you're completely immersed in that week. The week you're there, you are living and breathing your yard. The people around you, all the stuff happening in the yard, all the restoration work going on, the smell of that, even just the studio where you're all surrounded by your work and references everywhere. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant week. I'm now starting on the Harlequin pattern inside. Well, you felt this pain as well with your green scroll.
I felt the pain, trust me.
Yeah. I think I've never been so conscious about painting. Because you're going to stand up. You're going to stand up in a minute and then come over this side.
My dad asked Stan, who taught me, would he teach me, when I was 17, which sort of feels like a kid. And it was, my dad always used to say, it would be really handy to have a skill. If you don't do the fair, you can do something else. But then the irony is, it was the Signwriting, the online courses and the book that saved the fair. I managed to keep everyone employed and was made redundant during the pandemic. But at the same time, it was what made me realise I could do something else. So it saved the fair and kind of killed it.
And killed it at the same time.
Yeah. But everything happens for a reason, and I don't believe there was longevity in travelling the size of vintage fun fair we were doing. But then it went to, well, maybe someone else needs to have a permanent attraction, to, well, we want to sell it.
Yeah. Joby, my side's looking all right. How are you getting on?
Slowly. it's there's certain challenges, like it being a rough cast, because I don't think they ever built these with intention to decorate them.
No, fair.
And with my bright idea of blending this end, they're still wet.
It's wet.
So I am decorating lining wet on wet, so I can't make a mistake. If I do, it's staying there.
You can barely rest your finger on it, I guess.
Well, it's sticky.
Yeah. Oh no.
So and I can't. I've got to do under there and get. So if I don't get it done, I'm afraid you're going to be doing it. And if there's any mistakes, I'll be publicly blaming you.
Yeah.
Denying.
So we're going to have arrow straight lines around, and then just as I get to the end, it will look like a child's done it.
Dom,
Joby,
down at this level, I've noticed you've had a little dribble.
What do you mean?
Of green paint.
No.
You have.
That's not me. That must have been you.
No.
That's not.
I haven't painted green this side. Up here. This is how a lazy man does his signature.
Oh, nice. That's brilliant. That is really clever.
That'll do, won't it?
I love it.
You can put a line around it if you're feeling keen, can't you?
Around in a circle, you're having a laugh. Yes.
Little roundels.
It's honestly, I was standing here this morning in this exact spot, looking at a plain yellow Ranalah. I was just like, what are we going to do? Where's it going to go? I was like, I did not expect this. I've got to say.
Absolute pig to do that sign writing. My back's a new shape now.
Yeah, slightly more hunched over.
But I like a challenge, and actually I think it works looking in like that for Revive and Thrive. That's something different that you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
The scroll, we didn't get to on the other side. That's down to you. The diamonds aren't this side. You're going to do those and put a cream line around it. I do advise you start about 6 tomorrow to get this done.
A lot of work to do, but what you've done is absolutely brilliant. I love it.
If you'd love to learn how to sign write like this, not only can you do a 5-day course, you could just start off by buying the book. And just in case you need to know any tips and tricks, maybe just refer to it for those diamonds and the lines around them.
Yes, I will definitely be studying this. I hope this video has inspired you. If you've got even that little inkling of like, oh, I'd love to have a go at that, or I'd love to just see someone like Joby, an absolute master of their craft at work. I've done it 5 days down at your yard, and it was the best 5 days. I can't recommend it enough. So I think anyone out there that wants to have a go, we'll put the link below to Joby's website. He's on Instagram, on all the social media platforms.
I've got no shame. I've even got TikTok. I'm down with it.
Goodness me, you're too old for that. Get in touch with Joby. It's brilliant. At least get the book. Joby,
Brilliant.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very, very much.
This is your cup, your present.
I appreciate it.
One more phone before I get shot by my wife. I've got to be back in 20 minutes, 2-hour journey. I'll see you later.
Perfect.